letting people know, like, now I can explain decisions I made with a clear head, you know what I'm saying? Like, back then, I really didn't know shit. I was just trying shit out, so I shouldn't have been so vocal about it.
Iman Shumpert has to make a one-time 7-figure payment to Teyana. What? That's crazy. What is that about, roundabout? What you think?
$1 million or more.
This would be like my healing
what I liked about it most is I could take my shoes
chapter.
off. I was really excited about that.
A lot of wounds are being closed.
What started as a magical birthday celebration quickly turned into something no one saw coming. Teyana Taylor had poured her heart into making her daughter's birthday perfect. She planned every detail with care, from the dreamy fairy tale decorations and colorful balloons to a cake so big and beautiful it looked like it belonged in a movie. The venue itself had an almost magical glow, filled with laughter, joy, and smiling faces. Her daughter, dressed in a lovely outfit, was glowing with happiness, running around, laughing with her friends. Teyana looked just as joyful. You could tell she was proud and soaking in every sweet moment of the day. She shared some photos and clips on her social media, captioning them with words like, "Mom, life is everything." But no one could have guessed what was about to happen. As the party continued, people were enjoying themselves, chatting in little groups, taking pictures, watching the kids play. Everything seemed perfect on the surface. But then something began to shift. Teyana's behavior started to change in small, but noticeable ways. She stepped away from the crowd several times, checking her phone, her once bright smile slowly fading. A few guests exchanged glances, whispering to each other as they tried to figure out if something was wrong. Still, nothing was obvious. Teyana continued to greet guests, played with the kids, and kept things going. But there was a tension in the air, subtle, but real. Then came the moment that changed everything. Everyone was gathered around the giant birthday cake, ready to sing, "Happy Birthday." The music had stopped, the chatter quieted. Just as the first note of the birthday song was about to begin, the door opened suddenly. In walked Iman Shumpert. No one expected him. He wasn't invited. He wasn't supposed to be there. He stepped into the room like a sudden gust of wind on a calm day. All eyes turned to him as the room fell into silence. People froze. Some gasped. Others looked at Teyana, confused. Her expression changed instantly. The joy disappeared from her face. Her body tensed up as if the air had suddenly turned cold. A once joyful space now felt uncomfortable and heavy. Iman walked forward with firm steps, looking directly at Teyana. Guests moved out of his way slowly, uncertain whether to intervene or just watch. Even the security staff hesitated. You could see them watching closely, unsure if they should step in. When he reached her, Iman simply said, "We need to talk." But Teyana didn't hold back. Her voice rang out, filled with raw emotion. "Not now. Not here." Her voice cracked as she spoke. That alone was enough to break the silence in the room. Phones came out immediately. Guests, sensing something big was unfolding, began to record. Some out of curiosity, others perhaps to capture proof. It was clear this was no small disagreement. Teyana tried to stay calm, but it didn't last. She raised her voice and demanded Iman leave. "This is her day. You will not ruin it," she shouted through tears. Then she scooped up her daughter and walked out of the room, tears streaming down her face. The room was stunned. Nobody knew what to say. Some stood frozen. Others began whispering. A few guests tried to comfort each other, while others kept filming or even started live streaming the aftermath. The music never came back on. The kids looked confused, unsure why the fun had stopped. Adults huddled in corners, quietly discussing what they'd just witnessed. People tried to keep the celebration going, smiling through the discomfort, handing out cake, but the joy had clearly vanished. What was meant to be a happy memory had turned into a scene of heartache and uncertainty. And then social media caught fire. Within minutes, clips from the party flooded platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Hashtags like #BirthdayMeltdown, Iman storms in, and #TeyanaBroken began trending. Opinions swirled. Some users praised Teyana for standing her ground and protecting her daughter's special day. Others speculated about Iman's motives. Was he trying to fix something, make a scene, or assert control? No one had the full story, but everyone had something to say. That one moment became a viral storm. Some people began digging through old photos, interviews, even lyrics from Teyana's songs, trying to connect the dots. They built their own versions of what led to that day, guessing what may have gone wrong between the two. Insiders started offering up more pieces of the puzzle. One source close to the situation claimed Iman felt shut out, that he wasn't being allowed to see his daughter and that this appearance came from a place of desperation. They said he just didn't know any other way to get through to Teyana. But then another source painted a very different picture. According to them, Iman's surprise visit wasn't about love or desperation. It was about control. About making a statement in front of people. And that's when the story got even more complicated. People started to wonder, was this all staged? Was someone trying to provoke a reaction? Or was this just a deeply personal moment that spilled out in front of too many eyes? Even people who had no idea who Teyana or Iman were found themselves moved by the video clips. Watching her walk out holding her daughter, face full of pain, brought some to tears. And the footage of Iman just standing there, silent, scanning the room, unsure whether to follow or stay, played again and again. Across timelines. There was no yelling, no fighting, but the quiet tension between them spoke volumes. Emotional experts chimed in too. Therapists and counselors began breaking down Teyana's reaction, saying her voice cracked not because she was angry, but because she was hurt, possibly from years of emotional strain finally coming to a head. In public. This wasn't just about one bad day. It was about things that had probably built up over time, disappointments, missed chances, maybe even broken promises. And when it all spilled out, it did so on the one day she was trying to make perfect for her little girl. By the end of the night, that birthday party had become something else entirely. The fairy tale setting, the sparkling balloons, the magical cake, none of it could protect that moment from turning real, raw, and heartbreaking. No one could have seen it coming. But once it happened, no one could stop watching. Teyana's recent posts started to feel different. A few weeks ago, she had been sharing cheerful updates about motherhood, but now her captions were quieter and more thoughtful. One post said, "Sometimes peace comes when you stop trying to be understood." After the drama at her daughter's birthday party, that message took on a deeper meaning for many fans. People began to wonder, was she already reaching her breaking point? Had things been going wrong behind the scenes for a while? Then, a new video surfaced, one showing Teyana talking to a guest who apparently hadn't even asked permission to attend. That added another layer of tension. To fans, it didn't feel like a random surprise anymore. It felt like a betrayal. The internet exploded. People took sides. Some stood firmly with Iman, others with Teyana. Online groups and threads were filled with emotional debates. Some said what happened was every co-parent's nightmare, trying to keep things happy for your child while old wounds resurface. Others felt Iman meant well, but handled it badly. What started as a private celebration had turned into public drama. Reaction videos flooded platforms like TikTok and YouTube. People cried, shouted, and even reenacted the moment. This wasn't just about a birthday party anymore, it was about heartbreak, family, and unresolved pain playing out for the world to see. More rumors began to swirl. Some said Iman had been trying to reach Teyana for weeks, with no response. Others claimed he only found out about the party through social media and felt hurt to be left out. Many questioned his decision to show up uninvited, especially if he knew it could cause a scene, and just when things started to calm down, another video emerged. This one, taken from the far corner of the party, showed a different view of Iman's arrival. In it, he didn't storm in like many had thought. Instead, he paused at the door, looking nervous, almost unsure if he should even enter. It was a quiet moment, but one that made people see things differently. You could even hear two guests whispering nearby. One said, "Didn't he say he messaged her?" The other replied, "Yeah, but she blocked him weeks ago." That short exchange changed everything. Was he really being shut out? Did he feel showing up was his only option? Or was it just an excuse? Teyana remained silent. She didn't post anything after the party, but sources close to her hinted that she might speak soon, maybe in a podcast, an interview, or even a documentary. Her silence, though, spoke volumes. Many fans respected her privacy and believed she owed no one an explanation. Still, others wanted closure, not just for themselves, but for her daughter. A little girl who deserved a peaceful, happy birthday, not one remembered for tension and tears. At the heart of it all was a child caught in the middle. A day meant to be magical became overshadowed by adult pain and complicated emotions. People connected deeply with the story because it wasn't just about celebrities, it was about real feelings, hard choices, and the messiness of family. Whether you support Iman, Teyana, or just feel sorry for their daughter, one thing is clear, that day changed everything. And the story isn't over yet.